Well, we made it to a Friday, and we made it to the end of July. It is the last day of the work week. It's the last day of the month, 31st day of July, 2020. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz on a warm and a hazy Friday morning. We are already at 77 degrees. We set a record yesterday up at Payne-Bohr Memorial Airport. We hit 104 degrees. That was a record high for July 30th, and we're probably going to do it again today before we finally get a little bit of relief coming up for the weekend. A very warm weather forecast for at least one more day, and really kind of spilling into Saturday before the real relief comes late in the weekend and into the early part of next week. That's coming up. We also have a new fire to talk about this morning, a fire that broke out shortly before 8 o'clock last night. They're calling it the Coulee Meadows fire. It's burning northwest of Ephrata. That'll be our top news story, as you might imagine. We'll have everything else that you need to get your day going. It's going to be a busy day. We're not going to waste a lot of time with trivial stuff and frivolity. We're not going to do that, but we're going to have that very warm weather forecast, the latest on the Coulee Meadows fire news and everything else. And again, it's already 77 degrees, and the relative humidity is only 33%. Normally this time of the day, the relative humidity is closer to 53%. So I have a feeling we're going to break another record high today. We'll find out late in the afternoon. In the meantime, let's get going. Let's take you around north central Washington with our cameras. You can see the haze. The lightning strikes, the dry lightning strikes for the Wenatchee Valley anyway, didn't really materialize, but there's still a chance of some dry lightning or an isolated thunderstorm to the north of us, specifically up in the Okanagan County area. They're not out of the woods yet when it comes to some dry lightning. Again, not quite as hot as we get to Monday and Tuesday, but we're going to have to deal with it. Dangerously hot temperatures again today. The excessive heat warning continues until 8 o'clock tonight. There's the valley, looking a little hazier than it was yesterday at this time. Camera number 2. Megan decides we're going to pay a visit to, is that McNeil Canyon? That's the top of McNeil Canyon, looking to Lake Chelan. You can see the high clouds up there. Lake Chelan will be busy. I'm going up to Lake Chelan tomorrow just to jump in the lake and cool off. Beautiful view there from the top of McNeil Canyon, and good morning to Lake Chelan way off into the distance. Camera number 3. Oh, beautiful bird. Blag Mountain. I was just a pure guess, and I got it right. Looks like Megan has pointed that to the northwest. That's a guess. I'm assuming that Leavenworth would be to your left. I really honestly don't know. Beautiful view, though. Look at that big old pine tree to the far left. Gorgeous view up there. And again, if you want to escape the heat, higher the elevation, the cooler you're going to get. But everybody's going to be hot. I mean, it was 100 degrees at Lake Wenatchee yesterday, for crying out loud. Camera number 4. Speaking of Lake Wenatchee, there we go. Our Two Rivers camera, where the Two Rivers enter into the top of Lake Wenatchee and work their way down to form the Wenatchee River. Of course, sockeye salmon. You can go get them come Monday morning at daybreak, and there are a lot of people who are making those plans to go out and do some sockeye fishing on Lake Wenatchee on Monday. We'll see how long that season lasts. Beautiful view up there. All of these cameras occur, of course, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. 3 minutes after the hour, record-breaking heat. Are we going to do it again today? I think we are. Our forecast high is 106. Our record is 105, which we set back in 1971. I think we're going to get there. Again, we had a record high yesterday of 104 at Payne-Bohr, which broke the old record of 103. Ephrata broke a new record yesterday. They had 106 degrees out of the basin. Omak hit 106 yesterday. They're expected to hit 106 again today. So Ephrata and Omak are all looking to at least get close to records, if not breaking them. Same deal here in the Wenatchee Valley. Another day of record-breaking heat. We're going to be awfully close to it. And finally, we get to cool down just a little bit. Again, Wenatchee is in kind of the rust-colored area there. Moses Lake is in yellow. So we get some relief, not much on Saturday. We'll have a few increasing clouds, also a little breezy at times on Saturday. Sunday cooler still, and then we get back to more temperate, normal temperatures on Monday and Tuesday. But we got to get through today and really most of tomorrow if you just can't handle the heat. And you want to get outside and you want to enjoy summertime where the living is easy and the fish are jumping and the cotton is high. This is not good for you because you're stuck inside with air conditioning. You're finally going to be able to get outside for most of the day once we get to Sunday and Monday, and you won't have to worry about heat. Sunrise this morning, 5:39. Sunset tonight, 8:35. 14 hours and 56 minutes of daylight, by the way. All right. Here we go. From Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who gives your home a hug. There's your forecast high, 106 again. If we get to 106, that would be a new record high for this date. It would break the old record set back in 1971. 69 for the overnight low tonight. Another day of very warm temperatures on Saturday. Little breezy tonight as the lee of the Cascades is going to see a front moving across the region, so winds are going to be spreading across later on today. Not as hot as the winds that we saw yesterday afternoon, but it's still going to be a little on the breezy side. And again, as far as a dry lightning strike, not so much for us, but to the northern part of us in the Omak-Okanagan area. You're not out of the woods yet. You could get a late afternoon thunderstorm, which would be better than a dry lightning strike, but it's a possibility to the north of us up near the Canadian border. So still warm on Saturday, still hot on Sunday. I think we can safely call it that. We finally get some relief on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as that cold front rolls in and we get cooler temperatures closer to average anyway. But one more stiflingly hot day about 3:30 in the afternoon. I went outside. I spent almost the entire day yesterday inside like I should, and it was like, this is an oven I'm in. And I went to the National Weather Service and looked up the temperature at Pangbourne, and I thought, hey, we set ourselves a record we don't want to have. Probably will happen again today. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Coulee Meadows fire, which is burning to the northwest of Ephrata, with some video from Grand County Fire District number 13, and all the news that you need to get your Friday going. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tamer.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
Back at it, hazy skies, 77 degrees outside of our studios, 106 degrees Fahrenheit, our forecast high. That would be a record high. If it was 106 degrees Celsius, we'd all be dead. That would be too hot. Here are your headlines, and this video comes courtesy of Grand County Fire District number 13. I'm talking about the Coulee Meadows fire, which is burning about 12 miles northeast of Ephrata. Do we have that footage? There we go. Again, this is from Grand County Fire District number 13. It's called the Coulee Meadows fire. It's burning about 12 miles northwest of Ephrata. It's estimated this morning, latest numbers we have, at 250 acres and growing in size. It's burning in sage and grass. It started just before 8 o'clock last night. It's burning to the west, we're told. That means it's threatening crops and homes and heading towards the Palisades area. Strike teams are on hand, as you might imagine. Hand crews, heavy equipment are fighting this fire since it broke out shortly before sundown. Most of the firefighting efforts overnight have been by airplane. A Type 3 incident management team is the responding agency to the fire. We will have more on the Coulee Meadows fire throughout the course of the day today with updates. You can go to our Facebook page and keep a lookout on that. First responders, rescue climbers, and helicopter crews had to deal with not one but two seriously injured people Wednesday that were stranded in the backcountry of Chelan County. A helicopter from Naval Air Station Whidbey tried twice and failed to reach an injured climber, her name Lucille Townley. She was injured by falling rocks, and she fell about 30 feet on the north face of Mount Stewart. This happened late Tuesday. She was stuck at about 9,000 feet up, and the altitude and the heat made a helicopter approach simply too unsafe. It wasn't until after dark on Wednesday night that Chelan County Mountain Rescue was able to lower the 23-year-old Carnation woman about 1,000 feet down so a helicopter could reach her. Towley suffered a broken arm, a broken leg, and a head injury. And also Wednesday, a King County Sheriff's Office air support helicopter was able to hoist an injured hiker by the name of Corey Sorensen off Lichtenberg Mountain near Lake Valhalla. Sorensen, 35 years old, fell about 40 feet and injured his hip. Wow, pretty dramatic video there. Wednesday night's meeting of the Wenatchee School Board doubled as a community update from Confluence Health and where we are now in the COVID-19 outbreak. An average of 49 people per day. That's correct. An average of 49 people a day in Chelan and Douglas counties are testing positive for the virus, and hospitalizations in Wenatchee way up. Dr. Mark Johnson and Confluence CEO Dr. Peter Rutherford had this to say.
We're still learning a lot about this virus. We learn about it every day. It's hard work. We have a lot of really sick patients here in our hospital. And thank goodness there's a lot of people who get this virus who have mild symptoms, but it's incredibly difficult to predict who's going to have mild symptoms. And it's also difficult to predict who's going to be one of those super spreaders. And so the unpredictability of this virus and the way it transmits puts us all in a difficult situation as we think about how to maintain our current healthcare resources. And, at this point in our hospital, we are pretty full, not just with COVID patients, but patients with other infectious diseases or even patients who don't have infections.
In the middle of June, the percentage of people that were positive for this disease in our testing was in the 3 to 4% range. It is currently running somewhere between, depending on the day, between about 12 and 15%, and on other days, maybe even higher. And our hospitalization numbers are not yet decreasing. They are progressively increasing and are reaching the point where we are not able to provide the healthcare services for patients with COVID for everyone in this region, as has been our goal. We are now on a diversion status and are sending people to other places in the state. We were sending them to other hospitals in Eastern Washington, but most of them are now full, and so patients are having to go to Western Washington for hospital care.
Yesterday, the Chelan-Douglas Health District confirmed 5 cases of COVID-19 among employees at Beneficial in-home care in East Wenatchee. Employees, Beneficial provides services for seniors who live at home. No word on whether any clients of Beneficial have been exposed to the virus. Also yesterday, Chelan County passed a milestone with now over 1,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 since the pandemic began. Chelan County has 1,019 cases as of this morning, with Douglas County 726 confirmed cases. Our total is now 1,745 COVID-19 cases since the pandemic began in the two-county area. Moses Lake police say if you bought tools recently on Moses Lake buy-seller trade, you may be in possession of stolen property. But if you turn them in, you won't be charged. The mostly Ryobi battery-powered tools were stolen recently in the Lower Basin Homes area. And reportedly, these tools were sold online at that site. Now, the Moses Lake Police Department said they're most interested in getting the tools back to the victim because he needs them to work. And they also want to obviously arrest the person who stole them. An emotional farewell for Rivercom dispatcher Lisa Lewis. On Tuesday, first responders thanking Lewis for 21 years of being the calming voice at the other end of their emergency calls.
Stand by for announcement. K-28 Rivercom.
K-28.
Lisa Lewis, on behalf of Rivercom Dispatch, all fire, EMS, and law enforcement agencies of Chelan and Douglas County. We thank you for your 21 years of service, the many sacrifices you've made, friendships you've built, laughs you shared, tears you've cried, and the many lives you've changed. Thank you for serving and protecting the citizens and first responders of this valley, and for helping us make it home safe to our families after every shift. It's been an honor to work with you. Congratulations, and best of luck on your new adventure.
RC-22, out of service, 1641.
Best of luck to her on her new ventures. I know a number of Rivercom dispatchers. It's not an easy job. And a state road crew on a work site off Blewett Pass had a whole bunch of visitors drop by. That's not a mistake. That's sheep. The Washington State Department of Transportation said normally visitors aren't really allowed to hang around their work sites, but hey, when all those sheep passed through, it was like, what the heck? The crew, by the way, is working on the Boundary Bridge culvert replacement. That's about 5 miles south of the summit near the Swak Creek campground. One more item of business. I didn't preview the interview section of today's show, and I'm going to do so now. I get to visit with my good friend and colleague, Steve Hare. Steve is going to be retiring from broadcast journalism to tackle new projects. Steve came in and visited with me yesterday, and we had a nice little reception in the bullpen with our NCW Life crew, and we're going to say a very emotional farewell to my friend Steve Hare at the bottom of the hour. The news, and there'll be a lot of it at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with Grant Olson, will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And with the preview, here's the man himself.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll bring you a really great story about a message regarding COVID-19 that the mayor of our sister city, Misawa, Japan, recorded for the residents of the Wenatchee Valley. You can expect another scorching hot day across the area. I'll have your North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will take a look at all the day's sports. That and much more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. If you have a news tip or you want to drop us a line, look at the bottom of your screen. You can do it via Facebook, you can do it via email, you can do it via our website, or even pick up the telephone and give us a call. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Town Toyota, we believe in our community, and we're proud to support this broadcast of local sports. Town Toyota defines reliability and value in both its products and in the dealership itself. We are home to legendary products like the RAV4, Highlander, and Camry, not to mention Tundras and Tacoma trucks. Of course, we offer service for everything we sell and a great selection of pre-owned and certified vehicles as well. So enjoy the game and visit Town Toyota for all your automotive needs.
Kindness makes a world of difference at Boswell's. Donate $50 or more to charity and save more than ever before on stressless seating. Save at least $300 on stressless recliners and office chairs. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. There's never been a better time to help others and fill your home with the unmatched comfort of stressless seating. Be kind and save generously at Boswell's.
We are back at 18 minutes after the hour. Last spring, COVID-19 shut down high school sports, and now they've had all kinds of changes to the upcoming school year as far as sports schedules, when sports are going to be played. One of the side effects of moving football from fall to spring has been a movement of players leaving our state to play elsewhere. A local example of that is former Wenatchee Panther quarterback Camden Searman, the would-be senior, wants to play college football, and to that end, a couple of weeks ago, he moved to Montana so he could play football in the fall. Now, the Associate Executive Director of the WIAA, B.J. Kuntz, she oversees eligibility and transfers in our state. She says she understands the desire for athletes who have college aspirations. However, the rules are pretty strict if players and families wish to come back to Washington State after moving to another state.
Our transfer rules and our residence rules have pretty clear language that if there is that transfers for the sole purpose of athletics are prohibited. So if somebody does transfer into the state of Washington after leaving the state of Washington for a 4-month hiatus, whatever it might be, and we have a whole series of paperwork that they fill out as part of a new student packet when they return, and a whole series of paperwork that goes to the previous school. And a series of questions that are designed to answer questions around our rules. So in this particular case, if an athletic director feels that a student's transfer is for athletic purposes, then they have a high likelihood of being declared ineligible.
BJ says other factors are in play when you're trying to transfer out of state and then come back to play football in both the fall and the spring.
there are some risks involved in it. And it's not just the risk of, what happens if you aren't able to prove that the entire family unit moved. What happens if on just the health and safety of a student, if they went and played a 10, 12 game football season, full tackle, and then they come back and do that again? Just the health and safety of a football player playing 20, 25 full tackle football games in the course of one calendar year is quite risky. But just keep in mind that our eligibility rules cover, like 10 or 12 categories. And what happens if the academics don't transfer? And so now you don't meet the previous semester rule. There could be a lot of factors at play. I will also share with you our SMAC committee, which is Sports Medicine Advisory Council. They are meeting about this as well. And they may make some recommendations to our executive board around number of contests for football for a calendar year. They may or they may not. I don't really know, but they are going to talk about this specifically in reference to football and transfers.
You can watch the entire interview with BJ Kuntz by going to our website, ncwlife.com. Full disclosure, yes, she is my sister. Marco Gonzalez, even his record at 1-1 of the season, he threw a 6-inning gem last night. He looked good. Seattle looked good. They knocked off Los Angeles 8-5. The former Apple Sock allowed just 2 runs, a 2-run home run in 6 frames. He struck out 6, walked 1. He said it felt good to help his team to victory.
Yeah, I just wanted to give us a chance to, take the majority of the innings tonight and just command the zone, get ahead of guys. That's really the standard that I hold myself to. Lots of strikes, moving in and out, and just challenging guys with the fastball. I felt like we did a good job tonight. Joe Hudson really caught his butt off. I was really proud to see him work there back tonight. It was great.
Jose Marmoleos hit his very first career home run, a 3-run shot in the first inning. He says he's just soaking in the fact that he gets to go out and play baseball.
It means the world to me. I mean, working so hard to get this opportunity, and definitely I'm very thankful, very blessed for it. And I'm actually just working hard every single day, taking it day by day. Don't think about so much the past or the future, taking it day by day and going from there.
So the Mariners finished their opening road trip of the season, 3-4. It's now back home, finally, at T-Mobile Park. Oakland is in town. It's a 4-game set. Taijuan Walker gets the start. The A's will go with Sean Manaea. You can watch it on Root Sports beginning at 6:40 tonight. The newest Seahawk in town began training camp. Of course, you know about Jamal Adams. He was traded just a couple of weeks ago from the Jets to Seattle. Seattle giving up a couple of first-round draft picks and Bradley McDougall in his very first press conference, a virtual press conference. Adams admitted to be incredibly worried about where he's going to end up.
The day before I got traded, I was really stressed. I went out with my family and some of my loved ones and my brothers, and they could see it on my face how stressed I was because I didn't know where I was going to go come Tuesday. And I prayed on it. I prayed on it hard, and I asked God, to place me where I needed to be, whether that was to go back to New York or whether that's to be traded. And this is my calling, man. I'm here to stay, and I'm excited to be a Seattle Seahawk, like I said, and I'm really overwhelmed, but at the same time, man, it's so surreal to be around a great organization like Seattle, and to be coached by legendary coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, playing with Hall of Famers, from Russ to Bobby, KJ, Bruce Irvin, Quandre Dick, the list goes on and on, man. I'm just excited to be here. I'm here to help. And, I can't wait to get out there in front of the 12s, man.
Adams was with the New York Jets for 3 years, in the NFL for 3 years. He was an All-Pro for 3 years after being drafted out of LSU. He says when the reality set in that he was drafted and was on his way to Seattle, he said, I've never even been to the Pacific Northwest before.
I've never been to Seattle, man. Never. When I did get the call and I was excited. I was running around the house and, there was a video came out. I was playing dominoes with my guys and, smoking a cigar, just having fun. I honestly sat back and I realized, I said, man, I've never been to Seattle. I'm a boy from Carrollton, Texas, man. I'm a country boy. So never been to Seattle. First time, obviously, was flying up. And when I landed, it was quite the scenery, I should say. It's very beautiful out here. People are really nice, believe it or not. And you know, I'm just kind of like finding my way around, man. I don't know too much, but I plan to, and I plan to be here, and I'm excited to be here.
Adams and the Seahawks settling into training camp. Of course, they have to deal with COVID-19. All the team meetings are still being held virtually, even though they were in camp. And finally, a reminder of what we have this weekend, television-wise, in the ever-widening world of sports on this award-winning channel. It begins with baseball tonight. 6:30, we got the Apple Sox hosting the Bellingham Bells. We'll have high school girls soccer tomorrow between Kashmir and Cascade. We'll have that at 2. That's followed by racing for the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval from back on July 11th. That gets underway at 6 o'clock on Sunday. We got wrestling from January of 2017 between Eastmont and West Valley. And then Big Nine baseball between Wenatchee and Moses Lake at 7 o'clock. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday. I had 5 obscure holidays to choose from. Today is National System Administrator Appreciation Day. Today is National Talk in an Elevator Day. Very few people do that. National Raspberry Cake Day, National Avocado Day, but no, we love our dogs. It's National Mutt Day. National Mutt Day. Dogs have been domesticated for a gazillion years, and of course, we love our mutts. 8 out of 10 dogs at your local animal shelter are mutts. They're mixed breed because pure breed dogs are highly sought after, and if they ever end up in an animal shelter, they get adopted rather rapidly. You want a mixed breed dog. You do. I've had a lot of dogs in my adult life, and they were all mixed breeds. Mixed breeds live longer than purebred dogs do. Mixed breed dogs have better overall health. They have a unique appearance, of course. They're also a lot less expensive than purebred dogs. Go out and get yourself a mutt. Remember that Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is open by appointment on National Mutt Day. Let's see. Today in history is 2 space-related items. That's an ATV. I got friends and I used to do this too. Hop on an ATV, go out in the backcountry, and just have a good old time. That's our lunar edition of an ATV. It's the Lunar Rover. And 49 years ago on this day, July 31st, 1971, during Apollo 15, astronauts became the first ever to ride in a lunar rover, and there it is. That must be fun. Where do they put the bear? Where's the styrofoam cooler for that? Anyway, they drove that thing around. It's still up there, by the way. And speaking of still up there, 21 years ago on this day, July 31st, 1999, the lunar prospector looking for any evidence of water on the moon found it. It's frozen, but it's there. They had to purposely crash it into the moon to get below the moon's surface to find if there's water. There's frozen water. And of course, the lunar prospector is also still there. In fact, there's an estimated, you're going to love this, there's an estimated 211 tons of stuff on the moon that we've left behind. We've treated the moon like it's a giant garbage dump. 421,109 pounds of man-made stuff is still on the moon, including the 3 lunar roving vehicles. There's 5 Saturn V rockets still on the moon, dozens of sub-satellites, all of the Apollo ascent vehicles. You know, when they went down, the vehicle stayed when they got back out again. Various orbiters that crashed either on purpose or accidentally. Hammers, wrenches, American flags. There's a Bible on the moon, and there's 2 golf balls on the moon still up there. Alan Shepard played golf on the moon during the Apollo 14 moonwalk. I think we got to do a Make a Difference Day project and go up to the moon and clean it up. Birthdays today, one of my favorite record company executives, Ahmet Ergen, who loved jazz and blues and rhythm and blues. And in 1946, he got together with his buddy Herb, and his dentist financed a new enterprise called Atlantic Records, a specialized label for gospel, jazz, blues, rhythm and blues, what have you. Ahmet Ergen was a genius, and he really knew his music. He was born in the state in 1923. We miss him a great deal. He died at the age of 83 in 2006. And happy birthday to J.K. Rowling, the richest author ever. Thanks to Harry Potter. She's made a lot of money, and it helps that the books are pretty good. Great rags to riches story. J.K. Rowling grew up in abject poverty, and now she's almost a billionaire, and she's 55 years old today. We're going to take a break. Mike McKnight's got an opinion, and then don't touch that dial. We get to visit one more time with our friend Steve Hare. You don't want to miss that interview. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So my wife says to me, you need new clothes. There's a hole in these pants and there's stains on this shirt. Well, the hole is somewhere where no one can really see it, you know, and the stains really, unless you really look, you're not gonna see them. And besides, I hate shopping, and I'm using the word hate here. So I tell myself to replace these clothes because of some minor imperfections is an environmental crime because of the unnecessary use of new resources needed to make new clothes that replace these old clothes that still have some utility. So I'm not a slob. I'm an environmentalist. Yeah. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. He survived polio as a kid, cancer as an adult, and a long and distinguished broadcasting journalistic career, despite having to work with idiots like me. I'm talking about my good friend and my good colleague, Steve Hare, has returned to this program and to our television family for a brief little visit, and kind of a sad visit. Steve, I'll let you take it for just a minute or two, if you don't mind.
I'll tell you what, it's first of all, to get the call from Dan Kuntz to come in and do the interview, I was it was a compliment, and I appreciate that. I've had a long and you might say either illustrious or notorious career in radio and a short little sojourn with television, but it's been a rewarding career. And I'm here today to formally announce my intentions to file for extended unemployment benefits.
That's a euphemism for you're not going to be around much anymore around here, right?
Yeah, well, I'm stepping away from the microphone.
Okay.
Like I said, it's been a long career in news reporting and broadcasting and hosting a talk show at the radio station at KPQ for years. And along the way, those 25 or so years that I've been in the Wenatchee area, I've met some wonderful people and made some great friendships. And I'll tell you what, I've worked alongside some of the most professional broadcasters that the Wenatchee Valley has produced. And I'm proud of that, and also very appreciative to the people that I've worked for and worked with for putting up with my nonsense for the past 25 years. And here we are sitting with masks on.
And here we are having to do this interview with masks on.
I know, this is ridiculous.
It is, but you've survived worse. As I mentioned at the beginning of this interview, you had polio when you were a kid. Your family got you through that with the love and support of your parents and your siblings. And you had a bout with cancer. You got through that. This is COVID-19 is nothing to you. You can breeze right through this stuff.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah.
But as such, of course, I have some underlying conditions, and I guess you would put me in that high-risk category of people that are probably more prone to catching the virus. So I'll take every precaution that's necessary. So I have a lot of faith that we're going to get through this eventually. Although it's my opinion probably that this virus will never be eradicated, much like other strains of flu virus. It's going to be with us forever. And I think it's a matter of not necessarily not being able to do the things you used to do, but doing them in a different way.
I'm familiar with Steve and Lynette's story. We got to mention Lynette, his lovely wife, who's had to put up with this guy longer than any of us have. I know the story. You came up to visit some friends, family of Lynette's. You fell in love with the Wenatchee Valley. You got a job up here in radio. Eventually, you landed where you and I landed together at KPQ, and that really made you a high-profile guy. You brought with you
for the better and worse, I suppose.
an intense professionalism. The two most important tools that any good journalist has to have is, number one, you give a damn, and number two, you're curious about what's going on, and that has served you well.
Yeah. Well, I've always been inquisitive, and always wanted to know what's happening, and it's always been a part of my life, and I guess news reporting was just a natural extension of that.
I've asked this question of some professional broadcasters that you know very well. I'm going to ask you the same question. I won't be surprised by the answer. For youngsters out there who are thinking of a career, would you recommend a career in journalism or broadcast journalism at this point in the year 2020 or not?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's changed. I think the ability to be a balanced reporter is probably more challenging now than ever before. And it's always been my belief in broadcasting that bias is unavoidable. We all come to the job with our own biases, but to try the best of our ability to get both sides in a way that is accurate and not in favor of one side or the other, but allow the listener or the viewer to make their own decision. So that's always been my guiding principle, let's say, in broadcasting news. And it's actually, for me anyway, to retire from that position, it's really kind of freed me up to be able to share opinions on things that I had not before, which is probably much to the chagrin of a lot of people out there. As those of you who follow me on Facebook probably are well aware of. I do have my opinions, but I respect others people's opinions.
And you always have. That's always been one of your biggest strengths, I believe. You sent me some photos. We want to toss them up, Steve. As we look at these photos, just tell me what memory. First of all, this is when you won the Jim Croce Lookalike contest.
Yeah.
Talk about that photo. Where's that at? And
this was my second radio gig, and the name of the station was KVML, and that was the voice of the mother lode in Sonora, California. It was gold country in California. The year, because I can look at that newspaper there in the foreground, the lower third there, that has 1984. So
84.
That was the year. And it was also the year that we had a devastating wildfire, which was my first real, introduction to reporting on a major wildfire. At that time, it was the Stanislaus National Forest Complex fire, which at that time was the largest in the country at 185,000 acres. So about 6 years later, that my wife's parents moved to Wenatchee, and we came up here to visit, and fell in love with the area. It was during the Apple Blossom Festival time of the year, and Lynette and I just fell in love with it and thought it'd be a great place to raise our family, and the rest is history. But again, that was my second radio gig, back when the hair was a little more curly and the mustache a little more brushy.
we have a couple more photos of Steve that are much more contemporary. There's you at your old haunts at KPQ, at the old KPQ
Home and Garden Show.
There you are.
Yeah, non-stop infomercial, wasn't it, Dan?
When was the first time, before we throw the final photo up, when was the first time that you realized that you were making an impact in the Wenatchee Valley, that people were paying attention to your newscasts, they were returning your calls as a journalist?
I think it was in my coverage of local politics and governmental affairs that I first started getting some recognition, and people started really listening. But for me, I think, for better or worse, the story that continues to haunt me today was the Wenatchee child sex abuse trials
Back
and
in the
investigations.
mid-90s, yep.
Difficult story to cover as one reporter, and to this day, it's still with me, and still asking questions about what actually happened.
It touched a raw nerve and it brought emotions in people, and those are two things that sometimes get in the way of actually telling the story.
Absolutely. Of course, there were strong feelings on both sides of that, and I was probably a target of some of that, vitriol that was going on at that time.
And yet here you are.
Yeah.
One more, speaking of masks, one more photo. That's at our old haunts there. This was, I believe, the September, we were just talking about this off the air, September of 2012, the Carlton Complex fires. And for those people who lived here.
Still have that hat, by the way.
Still have that hat?
Oh, yeah.
For those people who lived here, if you remember correctly, over Labor Day weekend of 2012, we had a lightning strike in the foothills of town. It started a brush fire, and then we had a high pressure ridge. And for most of the month of September, you couldn't breathe in the Wenatchee Valley.
We shut down the KPQ offices. The ventilation was all affected, and there I am doing my job with a mask on because we couldn't stop what we were doing.
No.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Finally, Steve, something that you don't know about, but we do. When word got out that you were agreed to come on this program to talk about the next step in the career of Steve here, our good friend, your colleague of mine, Eric Granstrom, was able to get a hold of some of the local Wenatchee celebrities, and they have put together a little tribute for you, Steve.
Oh.
So, Steve, I'm going to ask you to use the monitor here in the studio to watch this tribute video. For you folks at home, please use your TVs. Here it is.
Happy retirement, Steve. I hope you have the best of times. Enjoy it. You deserve it.
It'll be a sad day, an end of an era, to not know that Steve Hare is not going to be at events that happen in the Valley. But I'm sure there are many people that will attempt to live up to that level of skill and expertise that you had in delivering and writing those stories. Thank you for what you have done, and enjoy your retirement.
One of my favorite memories is when I was brand new, very green, and landed at KPQ, and you were the seasoned journalist with years, decades of experience. You were always really patient and gracious with me, even though I always wanted you to voice my ads because you have just such a great radio voice. You would always very gently explain to me the line between the advertising side of the house and the news side of the house, which of course I knew, but I just really wanted to see if I could get you to cave, and you never did. So congratulations, and enjoy every moment of it.
Steve, when I first heard the news that you were retiring, I first thought, well, it's about time you hung it up, you fossil. But seriously, it's sad to hear it because it means the world, and specifically the Wenatchee Valley, will have one less true broadcast journalist, one with skill, professionalism, and the knowledge, and we are all the poorer for losing that. Personally, working with you all those years at that three-letter station was a joy, not only for your friendship and your good humor, but also because you were the foundation. You were the cornerstone that gave all of us the credibility that made it so successful, and we were all better because of you.
I know that early on in my career, you always were such a great encouragement for me, and I really wanted to just say thank you for the encouragement that you gave me when I was working those late night Saturdays, early Sunday morning shifts, you know, the glamorous ones, the ones we all dream about at the local AM radio station. And your encouragement always made me feel like I was a part of the team, and that my work really contributed to the overall sound of the station.
Hi, Steve. Kay McKellar, a.k.a. Mama Kay. I have fond memories of our conversations as I shared information as a 911 dispatcher and fire information officer for you to share the news with the community. I wish you well as you step into retirement.
Your reporting of the city issues when I was mayor was always very open, very candid, and your investigative research was outstanding. Again, thank you for all of your years of service, and I really wish you great enjoyment in your retirement years.
Can you believe it's been almost 20 years ago that we first met? 20 years ago that you taught me how to research, write, and report the news, and to do it impartially, something that seems to be very rare in this day and age. Thank you for all you've done. I thoroughly enjoyed working with you, literally on and off over the past 20 years, and I wish you the best in your retirement, brother. Congratulations.
Hi, Steve. This is Gene Sherritt. Just want to thank you for a brilliant career. So proud to have worked with you.
When it came to covering the news in my former profession, you were probably the most even-handed and objective person here in the Wenatchee Valley. Did a great job. Whether it was crime, whether it was fires, you always did your job well, and you presented the news in a way that didn't have spin. When it came to times to have spin, in terms of opinion shows, you expressed it. You expressed it well, and you expressed it with dignity, and you never put anybody down. Always liked that, too. Last but not least, you taught me a lot about being a radio host. And I'm actually still putting it to use. So thanks so much. Enjoy retirement, and we'll see you out there.
Hi, Steve Hare. I can't believe you're retiring. What are we going to do without you, for heaven's sakes? Anyway, you are an icon in your industry, and you are going to be missed. And please don't lose contacts with all of us. We will miss you greatly. And I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. Happy retirement.
Congratulations, but buddy, you are going to be missed. You are far and away the best newsman I have ever worked with. You and I have got a long history, which I really appreciate. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your integrity. I appreciate your honesty, and I wish you nothing but the best. And take it from somebody who is semi-retired himself, retirement's when life really starts. So, love you, buddy. Congratulations.
Hey, Steve. Solom in the morning here. I'm just popping by quickly to wish you the best on your retirement, and just want to say it's about frickin' time. You're pushing 90, aren't you? Jeez, you should have done this 15 years ago, for crying out loud. You've always been a pro, and I know you'll be a pro in your retirement. Enjoy it, and believe me, it's not overrated. You don't have to shave every day. It's kind of a cool deal. Anyway, Solom with hair, signing off. Have a great retirement, Steve. See you, buddy.
Steve, congratulations on your retirement. It was always a pleasure to talk to you on KPQ. In the old days, during the campaigns, you were always gracious. You will love retirement. I beat you by almost 3 years, but you and the wife will love it. Congratulations.
I remember you were one of the first people to interview me when I got the job as administrator for the Apple Blossom Festival, and you were so excited for me, and I think you probably have interviewed me more than anybody in Wenatchee, at least 100 times. So I appreciate you. You were so knowledgeable in every interview. You poured your heart and soul into anything and everything that you did when it came to the news and our community. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you. I want you to enjoy your retirement. You need to spend time with your wife and have fun and travel. Enjoy those grandbabies, and thank you for all you've done all these years. Bye, Steve.
You always trusted people, you believed in people, but you always verified. And I think that took you a long way in building relationships that made you the success that you have been here in North Central Washington for a lot of years. And I just want to say thank you for everything you've done to add to our positive society here. Thank you.
I just really enjoyed working with you for so many years there in the Wenatchee Valley, and you're just an outstanding broadcaster and an outstanding person. And you are definitely a friend of the law enforcement community and highly respected. I thought of a few words that would just identify you, I believe, and I know there are a lot of other words that also would that are good positive words, but these are friendly, honest, compassionate, competent, and professional. And Steve, like I said, you've done an outstanding job there for the different stations you've worked for while I was there, and in representing the station and also representing those you were working with. And I just wish you and Lynette the very best in health and happiness for your retirement. Take care.
thank you for always being there, for being consistent, but also for having a very high degree of integrity, for always having journalistic style in mind, and always asking hard questions when you needed to. I appreciated that about you, and appreciated everything that you brought to the table as a journalist. And frankly, I'll miss not hearing you on air. So stay in touch and have fun in whatever you're going to be doing in retirement. Best to you.
Congratulations, Steve Hare, on retiring. And I just want to say to you, pal, that when you walk out that retirement door today, walk out with your head held high, because you did it right. You served your community well. You did it with honesty, integrity, and class. And it was an honor to work with you all these years, and it's an honor especially to me to call you friend. So praying that the Lord will grant you a long and healthy retirement. God bless you, Steve.
Steve here. Retirement? Seriously? I know you'll never retire. Your heart and your ears will always be listening, always be looking, always find those ways to report information accurately and honestly. I personally want to thank you for that, for the years where I would tune in and listen to what you had to say, because I trusted it. I knew your heart was here, and I knew you wanted to report as accurately as you could to give us the information on the good and the bad. In crisis, you were a strong and steady voice. We just wish you nothing but the best.
Your reaction?
Well, you know, first of all, folks, there's something to be said for smoke and mirrors. My success really is the success of KPQ, is the success of all of my team members who worked with me at the radio station and here at NCW Live. I didn't do it alone, and I have so many people to thank. Sean Ballard, I see your face there, and thinking about the 3 times your ambulance crews had to come to my house and pick me up due to hip issues. The government officials that I see saying nice things about me, it really brings attention to how lucky we have it here in the Wenatchee Valley. Given the current affairs in cities across the country, including Portland, Seattle, and the leadership issues that they have there, and I don't think you can debate that at this point. But to know that we have elected leadership here in the Wenatchee Valley that really is looking out for the best interests of all of us here that live here is really a testament to the wisdom of our voters here in the Wenatchee Valley, and probably really emphasizes the point that we are who represent us. And in that vein, I think that we're very fortunate to live here in the Wenatchee Valley. So thank you so much for those kind words, folks. It was a pleasure working with you. And again, I am retiring from broadcasting, although I'm still available for part-time work if you want a spokesman for visiting angels or reverse mortgages or pre-lubricated catheters. Steve Hare is available for you.
Oh, I want a special thanks to Eric Granstrom, who put that video together for you,
Oh,
Steve.
Eric, that was wonderful.
That 10-minute tribute. We have one more surprise for you, Steve, that you just saw that 10-minute tribute of all those people who care so much about you and your professionalism. We have a 20-minute video featuring all the people who never really cared much for you, Steve. And we don't have enough,
much longer.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to run that, and I apologize for that. Steve, I'm going to give you the last word as you walk out your broadcasting door and move on to the next great thing in your life, along with your lovely wife, Lynette. I'll let you have the final word, Steve.
Well, first of all, I want to give a special thank you to my buddy here, Dan Kuntz, who actually was one of the first guys I met when I moved to the Wenatchee Valley.
You came to my record store.
That's right.
Yes.
I walked into your record store and I was looking for something with Dick Dale and the Deltones or something like that. I forget what it was. But
good God, how old are you, Steve?
but yeah, Dan. Without Dan, I would not have been working at KPQ for the second and third time, or here at NCW Life. He was the guy that drove the bus for me, and made it all possible.
Don't be a stranger. Come by anytime you want.
You bet.
I mean that sincerely, Steve. We'd love to. Come by and anytime.
Same for you, Dan. I want you to know that you're always welcome in my house, as is everyone here at. And everyone who actually spoke just now. But Dan, if you would please call first.
And a friendly reminder, if you drop by Steve's house, Thumbelina will jump up on your lap.
Yeah, we have a new addition.
As you have a kitten, that's right, you do. Who will probably also jump up on your lap.
Skippy.
Stephen S. Mitchell here. God bless you, my friend. Anytime you want to come by and see us, and I'll be in touch always.
Thank you very much, Dan.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And for NCW Life News, I'm Steve Hare.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Good to see you again. It was good to see Steve again. Happy retirement, Steve, but he's not going to go anywhere. He's too much a part of our lives to just disappear. He'll be around. Let's take a look at what we're going to look at today, record-breaking heat. Yeah, I think we're going to do it again. If you just joined us, we did set a new record yesterday. The old record on July 30th was 103. We had 104 at Pangborn. It was obviously a little bit warmer here on the valley floor. Our forecast high today is 106, which would break the old record of 105, set back in 1971. And we're on our way with 78 degrees already outside of our studios. Very hot today. Find out where you live, be it Wenatchee, Spokane, even Lewiston. I don't think we have any viewers in Lewiston unless they're watching online. Take a look. That's your temperatures for today. A little bit cooler Saturday, all things being relative. Cooler still on Sunday, but then the big cool down comes on Monday. A dry cold front is going to come on in Sunday night into Monday. It's going to bring breezy conditions, but it is going to usher in some much cooler air, going to make things considerably more comfortable. And it looks like we're not going to have any dry lightning strikes, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley, but we're keeping a very close eye up near the Omak-Okanagan area, near the Canadian border. They could be susceptible to some thunderstorms or some dry lightning later on today. Let's take a look at the forecast one more time from the National Weather Service. Whew. 106 degrees. I think we can safely call it hot. The National Weather Service calls it dangerously hot, and it is 106. The excessive heat warning continues until 8 o'clock tonight. Then we cool down a little bit, 99 on Saturday. We'll see a few increasing clouds later on Saturday. Sunday cooling down even more to 97, but again, it's all relative. For most people, 97 is plenty hot. And then we cool down considerably on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so it gets back down to more, normal temperatures, if you will. Don't forget, as this cold front moves into the region over the weekend, winds are going to be picking up in intensity. We'll keep a close eye on any existing fires, including the Cooley Meadows fire. If you're just joining us, that broke out about 8 o'clock last night. It's burning about 13 miles northwest of Ephrata. We'll have more information on that fire, the Cooley Meadows fire. Have a good and safe weekend. We will see you Monday. Bye-bye.